I told you all I'd be back soon. So here I am with the Lions win-loss record this year for the 2024 season. Let's talk about Lions football.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
All right, welcome to another exciting edition of the Lions Hangover podcast. I am your host, Brad. Find me on all of the social medias. I'm on X, a.k.a. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm there. Give me a follow. Of course, I always appreciate it if you subscribe to this podcast. Give it a 5-star rating. That always helps me grow. I really feel like I'm getting the hang of this thing. I'm just waking up and I haven't said many words out loud, so my voice is a bit Barry White-ish. Yeah, baby, you know what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, I said I would be back and we'd be discussing the Lions' win-loss record. And holy cow, it's a little bit higher now that I look at it on paper than I thought it was going to be. As far as what their ceiling is and what their floor is. But, we will go game by game. I'm not going to break down each game so much. I will just sort of, not really rapid fire, but not spend too much time either on each game. I'll just, because I'll be back tomorrow to talk about the Lions football game against the Rams. So look for that's another reason to subscribe. I'm just going to do audio this year for the most part. If I do video, it'll just be a surprise. But I'm just going to do audio. But the way I would like to do it this year is the day before, a couple days before the next game. I'd like to do a couple days before the next game. I will preview the upcoming game. And then, of course, within a day after the game, I will do the post-game show. So I would like to put out more content. And just doing the audio is going to save me so much time because it really takes me 4 to 6 hours to do a video episode by the time it's all said and done. And I just don't have that kind of time right now. I would love to. I would love to just be able to hand it off and have somebody else edit it and upload it and all that stuff. Unfortunately, that's not the case for me. I'm a one-man production team, so I have to do it all myself. So we're just going to stick to audio this year. I appreciate everybody following along, though. But I love everybody's comments on the social medias and stuff, and I think even on Spotify, if you listen on Spotify now, you can leave comments, all of that thing. I've not seen how to do it for a podcast, but when I upload it, I see that is an option to allow comments on each episode. So feel free to leave a comment on the episode. Let me know what you guys think, how you think the record is going to be for the Lions this year. And I'm looking forward to hearing from every single one of you. But thanks for listening. So let's get underway. The Lions open up this Sunday, the 8th. The Rams, Matthew Stafford returns, Sunday Night Football, NBC and Peacock. I have this game listed as either way. This game could go either way. However, first game of the season, I'm picking the Lions to win this game. If this game was taking place at any other point in the season, I may pick the Rams. The last time the Rams were here, the last time Matthew Stafford was here, we beat them by 1 point in the playoffs. I feel like they have a revenge on their mind. However, the Lions have gotten better than they were in those playoff games. And I'm not convinced the Rams have gotten better. They lost Aaron Donald, of course. Jonah Jackson is going to be playing center. He hasn't played center since college. And I'm not sure how much practice Stafford and Jonah Jackson have had together with Jonah Jackson being the center. So I think that's advantage Lions. I think the Lions offense is taking a step forward. Jahmyr Gibbs is taking a step forward. Oh, yeah, I should probably say that as well. All of this is contingent on the Lions taking that next step from last year. We need continued good play from Jared Goff. We need the next step from Jahmyr Gibbs, which is going to be amazing. We need the next step from David Montgomery, which is going to be amazing. You know, Jameson Williams has to step it up. He has to take that next step forward. Otherwise, it's unfortunately time to label him a bust. If he can't put together, this dude was a top 15 pick. The Lions traded up for him. If he cannot put up near Pro Bowl numbers, if not make the Pro Bowl, I think that's a disappointing year for Jameson Williams. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I think expectations are high. Pressure is high. But I trust Brad Holmes. I trust J-Mo. So as long as he stays healthy, which he needs to stay healthy, we can't go into a third year of where's J-Mo at for half the season. You know, because he was coming off the injury the first year. He was coming off a gambling suspension last year, and it's like he just wasn't quite gelling with the offense yet. We don't have time for that this year. The wide receiver, we have a lot of offensive weapons, but the wide receiver room is pretty thin. Those cupboards are pretty bare. Okay, we got to go grocery shopping for more wide receivers. Now somebody's going to step up. Khalif Raymond always makes big plays on the year. You know, who knows? Tom Kennedy might play a couple games. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones comes off the practice squad and he plays a little bit better. You know, I know the Lions have options at wide receiver, but it's going to depend on Jameson Williams stepping up. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference on the offense. I'm curious to see what the Lions do with Jahmyr Gibbs, if they put him in the slot at all with Vaki. Yeah, you know, the safety running back combo guy. I think they do like him at running back. It was kind of a weird pick, Sione Vaki. But, yeah, it'd be weird. I would love to see two running back sets, too. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery out there in the split eye formation. You know? I think that would be amazing. You got these two. The offense will never know what's coming. I think, you know, not all the time on the field at the same time, of course. You know, give the defense a lot of different looks. But if we could just keep the defense on their toes, like take it to that next level, Ben Johnson, and just keep the defense guessing, I think it'd be amazing. It's going to be like the left-right combo in boxing. All right, anyway, this game could go either way. I have it as a win, right? Week 1, win starting off. Now, week 2, against the Bucs, our first 1 o'clock game. This is an easy W, all right? I don't mind Baker Mayfield, but I don't think the Bucs have done much. I'm not a big Chris Godwin fan. I mean, I think he's okay, but I don't think he's a difference maker. It's not even going to matter, okay? The Lions are going to get the W on this. This one is a little bit more easy, the W. So, starting off 2-0, week 3 at Arizona. I think some people have Arizona as a question mark as far as what they're going to do in the season. I still think Arizona is the bottom tier. I don't think Arizona is that great. Maybe that's me taking them too lightly. But if the Lions are projected by not just me, but a lot of people, a lot of serious sources to go to the Super Bowl, you are beating Arizona. You are beating them. Now, week 4, Monday Night Football, our second primetime game in 4 weeks. We host the Seattle Seahawks, somebody that we've not beaten since I don't even know when. I think we've lost 6 straight against the Seattle Seahawks. I think that includes a playoff game in 2015, 2014, one of the Matt Stafford years. I think we lost to the Seahawks in the playoffs. We have not been able to beat them. I mentioned this in the previous show. There are 4 games that I am guaranteeing a victory to. The revenge tour starts week 4 of this season. I am guaranteeing a victory against the Seattle Seahawks. They have a new coach, a new system. It doesn't matter. Bring Pete Carroll back. Bring Russell Wilson back in his prime. Those ugly little bird uniforms, man, I hope they have like the brightest yellow-green colors on their uniform. I can't stand those colors, by the way. I think they look ridiculous. The Lions are going to beat the Seahawks. They're going to beat them. I'm tired of hearing about it. This is a team. This is the worst team that we can't seem to beat and get over the hump. I think we're going to finally be putting things together. The rhythm is going to be clicking by week 4. Some of these other victories, even against the Bucks, even against Arizona, we might squeak by. We're going to win. I'm not worried about winning. We might squeak by, though. Week 4, we are going to win by 10 points. It is not going to be close. Not going to be close. I feel fired up already. We are going to beat the Seahawks. I'm excited about it. Screw the Seahawks. All right, week 5. The Lions get one of the earliest bye weeks I can remember. So we're going to be riding off of that high, and we're going to get a bye week. You know, you take rest when you get it. However, this is a bit too early for me. I would love a late season bye. I mean, you're going to be beat up, but, man, you get that late season bye getting ready for the playoffs. Playoff mode coming out of a week 13 bye week. That would be amazing. Nonetheless, the Lions come back October 13th. It's a Sunday, not a Friday. But do you know who should be scared for spooky season? Dallas Cowboys should be scared. Game 2 of the revenge tour of the guaranteed victories. I'm not even questioning it. Decker is going to report 5 times in that game. At least. Be ready, Dallas. You're going to be crying afterward. This is not even smack talk. I wanted to play them in the playoffs last year. There was no doubt in my mind after that last game that the next time the Lions play the Cowboys, the Lions would destroy the Cowboys, guaranteeing victory number 2. And if you're paying attention, the Lions are starting the season at 5-0 so far. Possibly 4-1 with that Rams game, but I think they're going to win 5-0. Coming off of a bye week, they're going to be motivated. They're going to be refreshed. A premature refreshed, stupid week 5 bye week. I see no reason the Lions can't beat Dallas. I am guaranteeing this victory. 5-0. Week 6, October 20th, at Minnesota. The W, baby. The W. 6-0. I don't care who the quarterback is. If it's going to be Darnold, if it's going to be Darnold's backup, if it's going to be J.J. McCarthy with some sort of supernatural power of healing with his meniscus tear. That's not going to be him. Isn't he out for the season? He's at least out till late season. Anyway, 6-0. The Lions, 6-0. Things are still looking good because the next week, the Lions are hosting the Titans. October 27th, the Titans. The Titans. This is win number 7. Unprecedented win number 7. Undefeated through week 7. Now the Lions, we don't even have to talk about the Titans. Will Levis. I like Will Levis. Is he going to be the starter? We don't even know. Probably, but I have to think. I don't know, man. The Titans, they lost Derrick Henry. They have a young quarterback. I mean, who are their wide receivers? Honestly, I'm not worried about the Titans. 7-0, okay? Week 8 at Green Bay, 4:25 game. Will the Lions go 8-0? The answer has to be no. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to get you guys all excited there. I don't see the Lions going 8-0. I see the Lions being capable of beating Green Bay in Green Bay. I don't see the Lions beating Green Bay in Green Bay. Week 8, Lions fall to 7-1. I'm sorry, this is week 9 because of that bye week. Sorry, everybody. One moment. There, I had to snarf that up. Week 9 at Green Bay. The Lions fall to 7-1. Sorry. Even I am not that crazy to say that the Lions are going to go 8-0. Even I'm not that crazy to say the Lions are going to get a handle on Jordan Love in Green Bay. It's probably going to be a cold day, not freezing, but it's not going to be warm early November in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. It just is not going to be. The Lions are going to fall. It could be a good game. It could be a close game, But, yeah, I see the Lions going 7-1. Does it get much better the week after? Going to Houston. Houston last year, out of nowhere, C.J. Stroud. They now have Joe Mixon, a serious running back from Cincinnati. They have an amazing defense. They got Will Anderson. I love Will Anderson. They picked Stroud and Anderson back to back in last year's draft, which was a ridiculous move, and they won the draft with those two back to back first round picks. And now don't they have Marvin Harrison Jr. reuniting him with C.J. Stroud? Isn't that who they got? I believe that's who they got. The Lions will lose back-to-back games. I want to look that up real quick. I know you guys are yelling at me like, we know who it is. Marvin Harrison Jr. Oh, my God. He plays for the Cardinals. Brad, you're so stupid. All right. I'm still not afraid of Arizona, just so you know. I am afraid of Houston, though. And some people have Houston predicted against the Lions in the Super Bowl. The Lions winning. Those people have predicted the Lions winning. I think this is the time of the year where you can throw out crazy predictions. I don't think Houston and the Lions are that obscene of an idea of making it to the Super Bowl. So this could be the first Super Bowl matchup that the Lions have. Looking at the schedule, this is the first team. The Lions could actually play Houston twice if they make it to the Super Bowl. Both teams. That's a tall order for a second-year quarterback. For a team that's only experiencing their second year of success, the Lions are going on their second and a half year of success. We will see what happens, but I have this as a loss. I don't even have this going either way. At Houston, it is Sunday Night Football. I do love the prime time. I don't see the Lions pulling this one out, though. The Lions fall to 7-2 going into Week 10. Coming home, playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, I think his star is starting to fizzle out a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the Jags. I don't hate the Jags. I'm not a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to make fun of anybody, but his chin looks like a nutsack. Look at it, isolate it, crop it. His chin, nutsack. The Lions go to 8-2, Week 11 against the Jags. Week 12, week before Thanksgiving, the Lions head to Indianapolis. They play the Colts. I feel like a team that they've had a lot of success against. However, the last time the Lions had success against the Colts, whether it was preseason or regular season, they did not have Anthony Richardson, AR-15. I'm not afraid of Anthony Richardson. I'm not afraid of the Colts. However, statistically, you have to look at this record, and it's how good are the Lions going to be? How good are they really going to be? This is going to be mid-late season form, okay? The Lions are going to start feeling some fatigue here coming up. This is when the wheels typically start to come off before they rebound. This game last year was the LA Chargers. And that game was ugly, and the Lions squeaked out a victory. I think it could be the same case this year. I think this game could go either way. I'm marking it as an either-way game. I see the Lions getting the victory. The Lions will win. The Lions will go 9-2 on the season. All right? Now, we have the Bears. coming here for Thanksgiving. Last year, the Bears narrowly beat us at home. And then they made fools of us in Chicago. Right? We were close to being swept by the Bears, who we were better than both times. It's just one of those things. It's a short week. I don't want to use that as an excuse. I remember last season, part of the Chargers debacle, they lost against the Packers on Thanksgiving last year, and the thing you heard was, we were just tired. We played 3 games in 15 days. I don't want to hear that excuse this year. The Bears are playing the same schedule as you. You think the Bears are getting a week off before they come and play you? No. They have a short week too. They're the freaking Bears. It is Thanksgiving. I'm tired of you losing on Thanksgiving. You are going to beat the Bears. Beat the Bears. The Lions are going to get their 10th win of the season. The Lions are going to be 10-2 at Thanksgiving. It's going to be a good holiday season, kids. It's going to be amazing. After the Thanksgiving game against the Bears, we don't get an extended week yet. We have an exact week off because we host the Packers at home Thursday Night Football, December 5th. I have the Lions splitting the series with the Packers. So they lose early in the season, November 3rd. They beat the Packers December 5th. Now, of course, these games could be vice versa. But I would rather win at home, man. Now, it's awesome winning at Green Bay since, we had that drought, a 23-year drought where we never won in Green Bay. Not since 1991, but since we broke that curse, we've had no real issues winning in Green Bay. I hope to keep that going. However, I see the Lions losing in Green Bay this year, and they will beat Green Bay at home this year. I'm okay with that. Are you guys okay with that? That's going to be, if I have it right, that's their 11th win of the season. 11th. Getting lightheaded. I'm so emotional. Talking loud. Rawr. They beat the Packers. After the Packers, December 15th. I have this as an either way win. This game could go either way, but I see it as a win. This is also a game that before I started today's show, this was a guaranteed victory against the Buffalo Bills. This is the game that they should have won 2 seasons ago. In 2022, this is the game at Thanksgiving the Lions should have won. This was my first year as a season ticket holder. This is the game that Aiden Hutchinson claims turned around their season. Once they knew they could almost beat the Bills, they knew they could play against anybody. And it started their win streak at the end of 2022. And I feel like this is a revenge game. This is the game where the Lions win to get over the hump. This is the statement game, not the statement game. It's coming. It's coming, that statement game. It's coming. Last year it was the Chiefs. That was our statement game to open the season. I'll tell you in a second, though, who that statement game is. I see the Lions winning only because, what does this put them at? This puts them at like 12 wins already with this victory. My prediction, looking at this schedule, statistically, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to have 12 wins at this point. So this is why it's going as an either-way win. And Josh Allen is just an amazing quarterback. He doesn't always have it together, but himself as a quarterback, he's a gunslinger. He's going to make mistakes, But the dude knows how to play ball. So, for that reason, I have to put it as an either way win. But deep down, I feel like it's a guaranteed win. Deep down, I think the Lions are going to be 12-2 after this game. Is that crazy talk? Maybe. The 12-2 part, not beating the Bills. I think beating the Bills is very plausible. Stephon Diggs left town. He went to Houston. That's who went to Houston. Not Marvin Harrison Jr. Man, I knew they got a new wide receiver. Yeah. So I feel like the Lions are going to get that win against Buffalo. 12-2, December 15th. Am I on crack? That just seems so implausible, but I don't see it playing out any other way. Now, December 22nd, the Christmas Eve game. That's 3 Eves because it's 3 days before Christmas. They are at the Bears. I got this as a loss. The Lions are going to split with the Bears. Even though the Lions are the better team, they will be splitting with the Bears. So this puts them at 12-3. 12-3 against the Bears. I don't need to break down the Bears. I kind of already did it with the previous show, talking about who could be in our way on the way to the Super Bowl. I won't break down the Bears right now. I'll do that before we play the Bears. Okay? Now, last primetime game of the season, probably. We are going to San Francisco. Guess what? I don't have this as an either way win. I don't have this as a loss. This is number 4 of 4 guaranteed victories. This is the statement game. This victory is to tell the rest of the NFL there's a new king in town. There's a new king in the NFC. This game here will be the statement game. Guaranteed victory number 4. The Lions move to 13-2 December 30th of 2024, beating the San Francisco 49ers. I don't care who's healthy, who's not healthy. December 30th, San Francisco's our town. This is a revenge game. Number 4 of 4 guaranteed victories. Lions will be 13-2 after they beat the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. Now, the Lions come home. They play Minnesota. The only way they lose this game, I might as well call it a guaranteed victory, but the only way they lose this game is if they have nothing to play for and they're resting their starters. That's the only thing that could stop us beating Minnesota. This game is to be determined. It could be flexed. I don't think it's going to be flexed unless there are just no other good matchups on the season. The Lions are must-see TV, but they are playing the Vikings, and the Vikings are not going to be in the playoff picture. They're not going to be playing spoiler. The only way the Lions lose this game is if they have nothing to play for. If they have the number 1 seed locked up with a 14-3 record. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I think I messed that up when I said the Niners. 14-3. I got 3 losses here. Green Bay, Houston, and Bears. 3 losses. Okay. This puts the Lions at a 14-3 season. 14-3. How freaking unbelievable would that be? Number 1 seed, bye week, going into the playoffs. The road to the Super Bowl runs through Detroit. Okay? Now, some of the doubters, some of the haters. This is not my guaranteed record either. I'm not officially going with this. This is just looking at it, how I see it playing out. The Lions, if these either way victories go a different direction, if the Lions lose, these either way victories If the Lions are not healthy, if Jared Goff gets hurt, if the Lions just for some reason don't show up to play, the worst the Lions will do this year is 11-6. So our ceiling, 14-3, freaking amazing. You have to think that's going to be the 1 seed. Nobody's going 15-2, not in today's NFL. Our floor is 11-6. That's still pretty freaking good. It's going to be a bit more of a challenge running through the playoffs. I don't see us losing more than 6 games. I don't see it. I don't see 6 teams on this schedule that the Lions are going to lose to. Even if my guaranteed victories don't pan out, you can't tell me they're still not going to beat at least 2 of those 4 teams. You can't tell me they're not going to at least beat the Seahawks, that they're not at least going to beat the Bills. The Lions are better than those 2 teams this year. But man, you can't tell me they're not going to be motivated to beat Dallas. So that feels like 3. And you can't tell me they're not going to be motivated to beat the Niners. They had the Niners beat last year in the NFC Championship game, and it fell apart. It slipped through their fingers. That's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen. I have a hard time believing that Dan Campbell is not going to know the right things to say to get them pumped up for these games. I have a hard time believing that Ben Johnson is not going to be able to put together an offensive scheme to beat these teams. I have a hard time believing that the Lions have not built a defense that can beat these guys. I have a hard time believing this. I think the Lions could go 14-3. I'm not crazy. The record I'm officially going with, 13-4. 13-4. The Lions are projected to get 10.5 wins. Bet the over. If you're a betting man, bet the over. I see no reason. Don't bet the house. I would never bet the house. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. I have a hard time seeing that the Lions can't win at least 11 games. Looking at this schedule, I feel like they could win 14, but that is extremely difficult to do. I feel safe at saying the Lions are going to win 13 games. 13-4 is the official record I'm going with. Okay? I hope that all makes sense to you guys. If the Lions go 14-3, I'm going to say I'm off by 1 game, even though I say that their ceiling is 14 wins. If the Lions go 11-6, I'm going to say I was off by 2 games because that's their ceiling. Just looking at it, though, that's how I see it playing out. 13-4. I'm wrong on this schedule somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's definitely not one of the 4 victories, though. It's definitely not one of the 4 victories. That's it for me. I will be back. It's got to be tomorrow. What's today? Today's Friday. I will be back tomorrow previewing the game against the LA Rams. I'm on a roll. 3 out of 4 days, you're getting a Lions hangover show. And then that'll start our cycle. I'll do the pregame tomorrow, previewing. I'll go in depth on the Rams, what I feel like the Lions need to do to beat the Rams, and then I'll have the post-game show Monday for you guys. So thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Social medias, all that stuff. I've been Brad. Please rate the show if you're having a good time. I'm having a good time doing it. I got this. So, oh, man. I'm excited. Football season is here. I was at Ford Field last night. I got a Brad Holmes bobblehead, and it's actually pretty sweet. And I got a commemorative coin. It comes double cased. It comes in a felt box that's got a nice, it's almost like an engagement ring box where like the clamshell, it just snaps shut, and then the coin is sealed in a plastic case by itself. I got to do something. Lions are giving away all these nice little collectibles throughout the season. I got Aiden Hutchinson bobblehead right on my dashboard, Velcroed. And I know I'm getting a Jahmyr Gibbs from the Sunday night game. So I got to figure out if I got to replace Hutchinson or if I add Jahmyr Gibbs to the mix. I don't want to have a dashboard of bobbleheads. That's going to look ridiculous. I might go as many as 3 bobbleheads. But that means until they release a third bobblehead that I feel comfortable putting on my dash, it's going to look a little lopsided with just 2 guys there. It's not going to look centered. So, I don't know. I've got some decisions to make. We all have got decisions to make. Anyway, thanks again for listening. I've been Brad. I will be back tomorrow with the Lions pregame show, we will call it. So, thanks again. I will talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.